In this video, you will discover all the mobile gacha games that got released during the month of July 2020, and we will review them for you in the tier list format. So, starting with the first one on the list, it's Tales of Crestoria. Now, three things make Tales of Crestoria stand out from the rest of their competition. Very good storyline, pretty unique gameplay, and a generous gacha system. The story is about mob mentality and how blind judgment is passed without facts on our main characters who have to deal with it. The gameplay is all about building the biggest and best combo attacks in turn-based combat. And the gacha system, well, even though it requires you to get duplicates to max characters, it still gives a huge 5% chance for you to summon the rarest SSR characters. But there are also a number of technical and design problems in the game. First of all, the graphics on a lot of devices look blurry, and there are a lot of various optimization issues. Second would be the raid system. It's just not an interesting mode, but luckily you can beat the whole story mode with just a minimal participation in raids. Overall, if the developers iron out the technical issues and come up with a better endgame solution than raids, this could turn out to be one of the best gacha games in the market. But we believe Tales of Crestoria is worth your time just because of the generous summon rates and an excellent storyline, so we'll be placing it in the S tier. Next one on the list is Epic Summoners 2, and this is an actual sequel to Epic Summoners, and it's quite rare to see gacha hero collector games get their sequels since the players will be already invested into the first one, so this leaves the developers with a difficult problem to manage all customers from the previous title. But if you're new to Epic Summoners, this is an idle hero collector game that has cute, blocky graphics and offers you the usual selection of pretty generic yet adorable characters. What makes Epic Summoners 2 slightly unique are the team-up attacks that your characters can perform depending on your team's formation. You won't find anything more captivating in this game aside from the slightly unique art direction and somewhat interesting team-up attacks. It's very hard to break into idle games market without either having a massive advertising budget or coming up with your own unique take on the genre. So for this reason, we'll be placing Epic Summoners 2 in B tier. Next one on the list is Lazy Master. It seems you can have a month without a couple of new idle hero collector games. This time around, Lazy Master tries to bring us to an intervention that none of the players actually like watching their heroes fight each other and introduce an easy to use skip function. That's right, you can entirely skip almost any type of fight in this game. This means you don't need to watch any of the fights and just reap the benefits of the rewards. Which brings us to the question, what are we playing then? Maybe idle games are all about micromanaging everything that's not combat related. Either way, along with the free skip function, Lazy Master introduces a good number of quality of life features that some of the most popular idle games don't have. For example, there's an easy to follow and understand equipment progression system. Aside from that, there's still nothing interesting or innovating about this game, but it could be the perfect choice for those who are new to the idle game genre. But we'll be placing Lazy Master in the B tier. The next gacha game on the list is Guardian Tales. At first, it might just look like your typical low-budget pixel game with gacha elements, but on further inspection, it's actually a polished action-adventure game with a unique combat system. Not every mission will be your typical kill everything on sight, and instead you will find yourself solving lots of puzzles and different side quests. What's even more exciting is that the characters are all unique and you can come up with different sorts of combinations because of the skill change system. You also gain a lot of premium currency just for clearing the game, as well as lots of generous rewards just for participating in the events. Although the gacha is both the weapons and characters, but at least you can choose which to summon from. There is a PvP mode in Guardian Tales, but as you can expect it's strictly a playground for the high-paying customers, although there have been reports from players who have started on new servers and achieved high rankings without spending any money. And for some who have gotten used to auto gameplay in other gacha games, you will need to do most of the fighting manually, but since the gameplay loop is addicting and fun, it shouldn't be a problem at least for a while. There's a lot of interesting things to do in Guardian Tales, and it's worth playing just to beat the story mode and solve all the puzzles. And so, we will be placing Guardian Tales in the S tier. Next gacha game on the list is an odd one. It's Warbound Storm, and it's not often you get to see a real-time strategy game combined with gacha elements. Come to think of it, the last time a similar game like this came out was Battle Battleforge, but it was released a decade ago. Either way, Warbound Storm is your typical real-time strategy game but on mobile devices. It works quite well, but you can't expect the precision of your high elo StarCraft 2 player with mobile controls. There's also loads of heroes you can collect and deploy on the map, but it's not really a title that can be recommended to many since real-time strategy games are dominant on PC, and unless the developers come up with a super streamlined version of a real-time strategy genre, then most of the players will feel overwhelmed when playing this type of game on their mobile devices. It also doesn't help that the game looks painfully generic and it didn't go for any striking art direction. So this is a very specific game for a small group of people, and we'll be placing Warbound Storm in the B tier. Another peculiar game on the list, and it's called Hero Ball Z. And make no mistake, Hero Ball Z is in no way, shape or form related to the mega popular anime and manga series of Dragon Ball Z. But what's even more surprising than the name is the gameplay itself. It's actually really good and can get very addicting. You basically merge two units into a stronger unit and then merge those units again until you merge enough times to summon an actual hero. And you can see that there's a lot of ideas borrowed from other genres, and the outcome is rather unique with its own fresh take on what mobile games could be. Each hero you unlock comes with their own unique attack pattern, but aside from that, their passive skills and progression system don't offer much excitement. There isn't much to do in the game currently, and you mostly just progress through the story and hope to unlock the rarest of heroes. The premium currency is stingy, and the battle pass costs quite a lot, so only the dedicated few might opt in for these services. But if you want a quirky game on the side, check out Hero Ball Z, and we'll be placing it in the A tier. Our next game on the list is Date a Live Spirit Pledge. Who would have thought that combining side-scrolling beat-em-up action game with dating sim elements would have such a good outcome? Probably the best part about this game is that every character you play with is very unique and has a deep upgrade system. As an example, there's a character that can stop time around her and uses two handguns to finish off her enemies. She is quite fragile, and one of her skills allows her to mark her enemies, so when she deals damage to them, she also would heal herself. And that's just one of a dozen different characters. And what's even better is that you actually build a team of 3 characters that you can interchange during combat. Team building becomes especially important when you challenge yourself to game modes such as the Endless Corridor, where you will fight thousands of enemies through 100 floors. Now, the dating aspect is okay, it's definitely not for everyone, and it can somewhat be skipped as you don't play a major role in your game's progression. The game also has launched with just a dozen of characters, and with such a limited amount of choices, could be a drawback to some. Finally, the energy system is slow, which will keep you from playing the game unless you use some of your premium currency. Overall, it's a fun beat-em-up game where anime girls mercilessly slaughter their enemies. Just make sure to keep the combo meter going, and we will be placing Date a Live Spirit Pledge in S tier. Moving on, our next game on the list is Island Exorcism. Aside from the hilariously bad voice acting, Island Exorcism is a gorgeous looking gacha game that is based on a popular K webtoon hit, which is the Korean webtoon and not to be mistaken with the webtoon. Another important note is that this game only came out in Southeast Asia but has a full English translation. Check the link below the video if you want to learn how to play this game without a location restriction. So the gameplay is very similar to King's Raid, where your characters battle in real time and you can trigger their skills manually. The combat animations are pleasing to watch, and there's a lot of interesting characters you can collect. The story itself is sort of a lighthearted take on mystical exorcism, and there's lots of modes you can progress through, although most of them being quite generic. Probably one of the cooler features in the game are the weapons, which can change the appearance of your characters. Island Exorcism doesn't break the mold of gacha games, but it can certainly provide enough entertainment as your main game, and it does try to do so most excellently. So we will be placing Island Exorcism in the A tier. Our next gacha game on the list, and the one that had probably the most attention during the month of July, is Sinoalis. And it's quite funny because we did review Sinoalis in our previous June gacha games tier list video. That's because while the launch date was July 1st, it came out on June 30th in some countries due to time zone peculiarities. So now that the month has passed, and upon further inspection, it's clear that while Sinoalis does offer some of the most unique artwork and soundtrack in the mobile gaming market, it's just not enough to guarantee a wide audience appeal. You can only get the full package package deal of enjoying Sinovalis if you're ready to commit in guild versus guild battles, which will be happening in real time, so you will need to communicate with your team and prepare before each battle. This is a godsend title for those who love playing games with their guilds and friends, but for the lone mobile gamers out there, if you're not the biggest fan of Yoko Taro's work, you might just find that story, art, and music will be the only appealing aspects for you. While the combat is simplistic at first, it becomes a little more stimulating later, but you will never get to enjoy it fully unless you join a guild for Coliseum battles. Because in all honesty, it's not the combat that really matters in this game, but how you execute your teamwork using those generic weapons. And so, for all these reasons, while we have initially rated Sinovalis as S tier because we believed it will have a wide audience appeal, we will now be downgrading it and placing it in the A tier. So these were the mobile gacha games that got released during the month of July 2020. If you enjoyed watching this video and want to help us out, make sure to subscribe to us, click the like button, and leave a comment. If you're looking for more mobile gaming news and videos, make sure to visit us at gachagamer.com or check out more of our YouTube videos. This was Toby with Gacha Gamer, thank you for watching us and see you in the next video.